Hi ma'am, this is Casey G. Dukaw and this is my third and fourth final examination for Purposive Communication. The topic that I've been chosen is the poverty here in Philippines. The Philippines has a fairly high poverty rate with more than 16% of population living below the poverty lane. From 2015 to 2020, the rate of poverty declined from 21.6% to 16.6%. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte aims to reduce the rate of poverty to 14% by 2022, and the causes of poverty in the country include the low growth elasticity of poverty reduction, low to moderate economic growth for the past 40 years, weakness in employment generation and the quality of job generated, failure to fully develop an agriculture sector, high inflation during crisis periods, and many more. And how more poverty in the Philippines compared to the other country? It because poverty in the Philippines is more persistent than in other country in the Southeast Asia. Despite of declining poverty rate in recent years, 21.6% of the country population still live below the national poverty lane. The Philippines address poverty through the strategy Ambition 2040. The Philippine government plans to eradicate extreme poverty by 2040. Furthermore, the government has implemented various programs and reforms to reduce poverty by targeting education, healthcare, and the overall economy. What poverty causes deeply to the Philippines? Just because of the lack of shelter, limited access to clean water sources, food insecurity, physical disabilities, lack of access to healthcare, unemployment, absence of social services, gender discrimination, and many more. And poverty is linked with the negative conditions such as substandard housing, homelessness, inadequate nutrition, and food insecurity, inadequate child care, lack of access to health care, unsafe neighborhoods, and undersourced schools which adversely impact our nation's children. Compared to working age adult or senior citizens, children are significant and more likely live in poverty. 18.4% of Filipinos underage live in poverty, compared 12.6% of 18 to 64 years old and 9.3% of senior citizens. And the most vulnerable children are the youngest. That's why Philippines is the most affected in Poverty, the growth channel through which globalization affects the poor. The proponents of this new political economy approach argue that growth patterns yielding more in the inequality in the income distribution would turn and gender lower future growth paths. This would this would then also affect the potential for poverty alleviation and that's all for my fourth examination, Miss Claire. Stay safe and God bless.